Look, I mean, it came as a surprise. It would appear to quite a lot of countries, including country leaders, including our own Prime Minister, when Israel launched this attack on Iran, taking out their air defences, taking out some massively senior figures, the scientists, the military, the head of the Revolutionary Guard, and others, apparently with plans to, at one point, take out the Ayatollah Khamenei. I have to say, I don't think there would have been any great loss there, and I think many of the Iranians would have been cheering for that, although apparently vetoed by Donald Trump, that last act. But do you think it is likely that America will enter into this conflict and join in the attack on Iran?
Well, Julia, first of all, I just want to tell you something really interesting. You know, a butterfly can live up to 2 weeks. Apparently, it's more than what the new head of the Iranian army is, because 4 days after he got that appointed, he got eliminated. Just shows you how Israel is targeting precise senior terrorists from the Iranian regime, unlike the Iranian regime who is targeting civilians that have been in all the sites, in all the neighborhoods. There was no army base. There were no senior officials, whether the politicians or from the IDF. All of those people who were there are civilians, regular civilians, Israeli civilians, by the way, Arabs and Jews. Arabs and Jews, the Iranian regime killed Arabs and Jews. And in fact, more than that, when I was on the scene, in all the scenes, there were Arabs and Jews working together in order to, as much as possible, to fix everything and bring back life.
And we're told all the time that Israel's an apartheid state, despite the fact there are millions of Arab Israelis like yourself, former IDF soldier, of course, like everyone at some point serving in the IDF in Israel as part of your youth service. But this is the thing. I mean, I think a lot of people were very surprised by these attacks when they were launched. But given that, you know, the world's agreed they don't want Iran to get nuclear weapons. The IAEA, the Atomic Agency, they've obviously expressed severe concerns. Israel has done this before, and they're doing it again. I personally would like to say a big thank you to Israel for keeping not just Israel, Middle East, but also the world safe from Iran. I think it's genuinely a bad idea for completely insane Islamist revolutionaries to get nuclear weapons when they say that they want to not just wipe out Israel and the Jews, but also the West, including Britain and America. They are clearly our enemy.
Exactly.
Would you want and would you expect that the US would join Israel in this conflict?
Absolutely. Julia, first of all, a lot of people saying Israel attacked Iran. Iran has been attacking Israel through their proxies for years after years after years. This is Hamas, Hezbollah, Ansar Allah in Iraq, the Houthis. These are Iran. These are Iran proxies, so Iran is attacking us. And after that, when they strike us again back then in April 2024, and then they said clearly, we want to obtain a nuclear bomb to destroy Israel. Now, here's something everybody is missing. If you drop a bomb on Israel, and the Iranian regime calls himself the defender of the Palestinian people, if you drop a bomb on Israel, you're going to wipe also the Palestinians, because Israel is such a small territory from the river to the sea. So those who are claiming that the Iranian regime is protecting the Palestinians, they were willing to sacrifice the Palestinians in order for them just to destroy Israel. And why do they want to destroy Israel? Because if they destroy Israel, they can control the Middle East. And if they control the Middle East, they're going to move from the little devil, which is Israel, to the big devil. Big devil is the United States of America. And after that, to the entire Western world. So yes, when you said we should thank Israel, absolutely. And we should say you're welcome, because we are jeopardizing ourselves. The Israeli people are jeopardizing themselves because, one, we want and we are fighting for our security, but definitely we are fighting for the Western world. And yes, the United States must join Israel to eliminate the threat by the Iranian regime and free the Iranian people. This is the flag of the free Iranian people. And the Iranian people are calling. You know something? Israel struck the building of, so it doesn't fall, Everybody should say it stays high, But I must say, when Israel struck the building of the channel of the IRGC channel.
And can I just update people that actually while on air, and again, this is the state broadcaster and the female presenter was on air, and you actually heard the explosion, having to run off air as we saw, bits of plaster and technical stuff falling to the floor, and then and people were killed. The state broadcaster is off air.
But here's the thing. This was the last bunker, of the IRGC because they're losing. They're losing in any battle that we in front of the IDF, they are losing. And the only one thing they left is just false propaganda and lies. They spread fake news. They spread that the Ben Gurion airport is completely destroyed by AI videos. They're showing that Tel Aviv is like Gaza. Completely lies. And the only reason why they're doing this because this is the only way to prove to the Iranian people that they are strong. That's how they are preventing from any revolution.
But we know that.
Here's the thing. Wait, Julia. Here's the most important part. Literally, I know that from an inside information, the IDF got requests from the Iranian people to target those channels. It was the Iranian people who requested this.
And I think this is a crucial thing that actually, largely across the Middle East, I mean, certainly in Iran, huge numbers of people who are subjugated by this horrific regime are cheering, even publicly cheering on these attacks on the Iranian regime. But also, it's very interesting how quiet many other leaders in the Middle East are being. They might say what they have to say to sort of keep their people happy, but actually they'd be absolutely thrilled if Iran was dealt with.
Look what happened. Peace activists from Europe came to Egypt to try to go to the borders to Rafah. They were kicked by the Egyptians, and you'd see them, why are you doing this? And they thought they're, coming to I don't know where, but suddenly it struck them because once they arrived to the Middle East, then they realized how the Middle East works. Second, Jordan is intercepting missiles for us as well.
Yeah.
Okay, and trust me, Syria and Lebanon threaten Hezbollah. If you do anything, by God, we will punish you. This is Lebanon, Syria, Egypt, Jordan. Yeah. I mean, oh my God, are we in the new Middle East?
I mean, it has been quite extraordinary. But again, this has been an incredible success by Israel in terms of taking out Hezbollah, that major attack, taking out large parts of Hamas, and all of it in Gaza, attacks on the Houthis. But the fact that they actually completely undermined, and we've seen in other missile attacks, but completely undermined the Iranian defences. It has been extraordinary. What did you make of? I mean, there have been demonstrations in Western countries, including in the UK. People sort of called, pro-Iran, not the free Iran, flag, but pro the Iranian mullahs flag, and the pro-Palestinian, pro-Gaza activists leaping onto defending Iran now. I mean, it is mind-blowing that a lot of these people think about freedom, but they don't care about women being beaten or even murdered for not wearing a headscarf, or people having no freedom whatsoever. It is. What do you make of this sort of, I mean, Orwellian doublethink that we get from the left in the West, where they think that they should ally themselves with not just Hamas, but also the Iranian mullahs?
Absolutely, but I just told you, you clearly can see with the one sentence, how the Iranian regime doesn't care about the Palestinians, because again, they want to nuke Israel. And if you nuke Israel, the size of Israel, which is less even than New Jersey, you're going to nuke everyone from the river to the sea, including the Gazans and including the Palestinians on the West Bank. So so anyone who's calling for the Iranians for the Iranian regime to strike Israel and literally jeopardizing the Palestinians, they don't really care about the Palestinians. They're just promoting
exactly. But we know, as you mentioned a few moments ago, we know who apparently really does, and there's this huge bunch of Western activists who turned up in Egypt, flew in from Cairo, and they made their way to the border.
They got slapped in reality.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they reality check big time, and they arrive on the border where they've got 6 layers of fencing and barbed wire and walls between Egypt and Gaza, because the Egyptians, and they're run by the Muslim Brotherhood, who are pretty mad. They don't want them coming out because they know how extreme the Hamas is and the radicalization of that population as well.
Absolutely.
They turn up begging, and there's this extraordinary video of a man who claims to be a nurse. I think he actually works as a paramedic in Wales, pleading on his knees to get into what he calls, well, it's the Arabic translation of Palestine.
And Julia, I love how they try to make it Arabic, when they say Palestine
instead of Palestine,
and Gaza, not Gaza. It's like, who are you trying to?
It was very performative. He was on his knees, he was begging these soldiers who were completely blank, and then all these activists just sat down, said, we will not be moved. And as you say, not just the soldiers, but local people literally went, what are you doing? Get the hell out of here. I have to say, it was kind of beautiful to watch, wasn't it?
I'm not gonna say otherwise. But Julia, just before we say goodbye, I gotta tell you something very important regarding the apartheid myth. The IDF it's the Israel Defense Forces, not the JDF, not the Jewish Defense Forces, and why the IDF is protecting the Arab and the Jewish citizens of Israel. The Iranian regime is attacking the Arabs and the Jewish citizens of Israel. This itself should tell you exactly the reality in Israel. And one last thing, while Iranians are fleeing from Tehran, over 150,000 Israelis are begging Israel to find a way to come back to Israel. Now you tell me who's winning and who's losing.
Absolutely. Yosef Haddad, Arab-Israeli journalist, thank you very much indeed. Well, there's no debating on what side of things makes. Yeah, I'm on or he's on. Sam Armstrong, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm hoping that a ceasefire isn't brought about anytime soon. Israel, go fill your boots as far as I'm concerned. This is the most dangerous regime on earth, motivated by one thing, which is a hatred of Jews and the Western world. They hate us. They hate everything we do in this country. They're the most dangerous regime on earth. As far as I'm concerned, you can pretty much, as long as we can get the civilians out of there, flatten Tehran, flatten the institutions of that government, the world will be a much safer place.
Yeah, I'll go again. We think about, the Arab Spring, be careful what you wish for, what comes next. I don't think it'll be much worse than where it is right now. And again, Iran is a country that has, wonderful education system, wonderful systems of government. Before very wealthy countries got the oil, it could be, again, very successful nation, and it could, and so many of the people in Iran would be so welcoming of that regime being ousted. I don't know why on earth Donald Trump said don't assassinate the leader. Totally legitimate target in my view, but there we are. 11:49 is the time. Welcome your thoughts on that. We're going to come back to grooming gangs very, very, very soon at midday. We're going to be talking to one of the many victims, Susan Smith from Telford, to get her point of view, because I think the most important thing is to hear from the victims about what they want, not what some sodding government minister or council leader wants.